topic discuss understanding the basics of financial independence. So
Walaikum.
financial independence is not about becoming rich overnight. It is about gaining the freedom to live life on your own terms. When we understand money wisely, we reduce stress, build security, and create opportunities for a better future. Today, we will discuss the basics of independence, why it matters, and how simple habits can change our financial future step by step. So, my first question is, what does financial independence mean to you personally?
That's a solid way to frame it. It's kind of like moving the focus from just having a lot of money to actually owning your time. I'm curious, where do you want to take it from here?
Okay, my next question is, why is financial independence important in today's world?
Honestly, it's mostly about the safety net. Um, Everything's so volatile now. Jobs change, economies shift, and if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're basically just reacting to life. Being financially independent lets you make choices based on what you actually want, not just what you can afford.
Right. What is the difference between being rich and being financially independent?
I think the main thing is rich is usually about how much you spend or what you own, you know, like the fancy car or the big house. But financial independence is about your cash flow. You could be rich, but still a slave to your job to keep up the lifestyle. Independence is when your assets cover your life, whether you work or not.
How can budgeting help a person achieve financial freedom?
Definitely. I mean, it's kind of basic, but if you don't know where your money's going, you can't actually control it. Budgeting isn't about restricting yourself. It's more like giving your money a job so it doesn't just disappear into random stuff you don't even care about.
Right. Why is saving money?
Hey,
Why is saving money considered a foundational financial habit?
um, because it's basically your defense system. Without savings, any little emergency like a car breaking down or a medical bill just wrecks your entire plan. It gives you that breathing room so you can actually think about investing or growing your money instead of just surviving.
Okay. What are the common mistakes people make with money management?
I'd say the biggest one is lifestyle creep. You know, when you start making more money and suddenly you just spend more on things you didn't need before. Also, people tend to ignore the small recurring leaks, like subscriptions they don't use and, well, trying to get rich quick. That usually ends badly.
How does debt affect financial independence?
Debt is basically like swimming with an anchor tied to your ankle. It just slows everything down because you're paying for your past instead of investing in your future. When you're paying interest, you're essentially paying someone else to let you use their money, which is the opposite of independence.
What are some smart ways to reduce unnecessary expenses?
I've heard that tracking every single cent for like a month is the best way. It's kind of a wake up call. Also, just waiting 24 hours before buying something you didn't plan for. Usually the urge just goes away and you realize you didn't actually want it.
Why is having an emergency fund important?
It's basically a sleep better at night fun. Life is messy and things go wrong. Having that cash tucked away means a crisis is just an inconvenience rather than a total disaster that puts you back in debt. It's the ultimate stress reducer.
Okay.
You're
How
on a
can
roll with these.
how
What
can
else is on your mind?
how can
You good?
multiple
Or are we
sources
just
how can multiple sources
taking, I'm guessing you mean multi.
How can multiple sources
income.
of income improve financial stability?
It's all about not having a single point of failure. If you only have one paycheck and that job disappears, you're in trouble. But if you got a few different streams, like some freelance work or investments, it's kind of like diversifying your risk. It makes you way harder to knock down.
Okay, what role does education and skill development play in financial growth?
It's basically the highest ROI investment you can make. Your ability to earn is tied directly to the value you provide. So when you level up your skills, you're essentially increasing your market price. It's way more reliable than just hoping for a raise.
Okay, how can investing help build long-term wealth?
Investing is basically making your money do the heavy lifting for you. Instead of just saving where your cash just sits there, investing lets it grow through compound interest. Over time, it's kind of like a snowball effect where your money starts making its own money.
What is the difference between active income and passive income?
Active income is when you're trading your time for money, like a salary. You stop working, the money stops. Passive income is, well, it's the dream. It's money that keeps coming in even when you're asleep, like rental income or dividends. One requires your presence, the other requires an initial investment of time or cash.
Okay, what is the
You're hitting
uh,
all. I just meant you're hitting all the key points of financial independence. You're kind of covering the whole map here.
so again give me a few example of active income and passive income.
Active income is the usual stuff, like a 9 to 5 salary, freelancing, or maybe tips if you're serving. Um, Basically, no work, no pay. Passive is different. Think like rental properties, dividends from stocks, or even if you wrote an ebook once and it just keeps selling. You do the work up front, and then the checks just keep coming.
Okay, how does social
You
media
got it.
influence people spending habits?
It's basically a giant highlight reel. You see people posting their best moments, the trips, the gear, the outfits, and it creates this, I don't know, this subconscious pressure to keep up. It makes things you didn't even know existed suddenly feel like needs because of the algorithm.
Okay, uh, why is financial discipline more important than a high income?
Because a high income without discipline is just a faster way to go broke. I've heard of people making 6 figures but still stressing about rent because they spend every dime they make. Discipline is what actually keeps the money. The income is just how fast it comes in.
Okay, how can young people start their journey towards financial independence?
Uh, I'd say start by building that habit of paying yourself first, even if it's just a tiny bit every month. Get it into savings before you even look at your spending. Also, avoid the trap of trying to look successful early on. The sooner you start investing, the more you let time do the work for you.
Okay,
You're on a roll. What's
what
next on the
habits
list?
what habits do financially successful people usually follow?
They're usually pretty intentional. Um, they don't just hope they have money at the end of the month. They plan for it. They tend to focus on assets, things that make money, rather than liabilities that just cost money. And honestly, they're usually okay with not showing off. They care more about being wealthy than looking rich.
So, thank you very much for this discussion. Financial independence is a journey, not a destination achieved overnight. Small daily decisions, saving wisely, spending carefully, learning continuously, and planning ahead can create a secure and meaningful future. The earlier we understand financial responsibility, the stronger and freer our lives become. Let us aim not only to earn money but also to manage it wisely for long term peace and stability. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You're very welcome.